Good morning. Today we are going to study about the topic cyclotron. Cyclotron was made by the two scientists, and the name of the scientists are E. O. Lawrence and M. S. Livingston in the year 1934. So what is the use of this cyclotron? The use of the cyclotron is used to accelerate the charged particle to very high velocities, especially the heavy charged particles. Yes, like proton, neutron, etc. Yes. So let us first see the construction of this device. It consists of two Ds. Let us suppose that this D is D1 and it is D2. Yes. What are these? It is just like you suppose you take a circular tiffin, which is, and the tiffin is hollow from within. You cut it into two parts and keep it like this. So this will act like a D's. At the center of the D, we are having a S, that is your S is your source. And these two D's are connected to a device, and that device is high frequency oscillator. High frequency, you know that we are using the in our houses AC sources. In the same way, it is also like that, but its frequency is very high. In our houses, the frequency that we are getting is only 50 Hertz, but its frequency is very high. That's why it is called the high frequency oscillator. Now, and it also consists of magnetic field. So this is the cross sign. These cross signs are indicating the magnetic field lines. And if we are writing a cross, and the cross indicate that the vector is going away from U. So here is the magnetic field that is going inside the board. Now you can see that it is having both electric field as well as magnetic field. See here, electric field, it is a high frequency oscillator. So suppose that this at particular time this is positively charged and this is negatively charged, and the next moment what will happen, this will acquire a negative charge and it will acquire a positive charge. So the charges on D1 and D2 keeps on changing. Sometimes D1 will be positive and other time D2 will be positive, and sometimes D1 will be negative, other time D2 will be negative. Yes, so in this way, so D1 and D2 will have the charges positive, negative, negative, positive, and so on. So it is consisting of magnetic field which is going inside the board, and it is also having the electric field which is either directed from D1 to D2 or D2 to D1. Yes. And suppose that the source is generating a positive charge. If the source is generating a positive charge, then here it is a positive charge, then this positive charge will be repelled by this positive charge, and this positive charge will be attracted by this negative charge. So this positive charge will move towards the D2 with some particular velocity. Yes. Now as it will move inside this D2, and D2 is the conductor, and inside the conductor electric field is 0. Conductor just act like a seal. So inside this electric field will be 0. So only one force will acting on this charged particle, and that is due to the magnetic field. So see here where the charged particle is going. Charged particle is going toward this right side. So this is the direction of velocity. And where is the magnetic field? Magnetic field is going inside the board. So where will the direction of force? We can find the direction of force with the help of right hand thumb rule, and this is the direction of velocity, magnetic field inside. So direction of thumb is up. So it will move in this circular path inside this D. Now as soon as it is about to come from this D, we have to set this high frequency in such a way as soon as it is about to come, this will acquire a positive charge and this will acquire a negative charge. Yes. So what will happen? Now this positive charge will be attracted by this negative charge and it will be repelled by positive charge. Now once again it will be accelerated between these two D's. Here it was accelerated, now here it will be accelerated. Now once again it will enter inside this D1 and D1 inside this electric field will be 0. So the direction of velocity is towards this side and the magnetic field is going inside. So the direction of force will be downward. Now this charged particle will move in this circular path, semicircular. So in this way the charged particle will keep on moving inside these two D's in a spiral way. So when it has acquired the maximum energy, here we put one device, that is the deflector, and with the deflector the charged particle will come out with a very high velocity. Yes. So suppose that at any instant the radius of this circular path be r. So whenever charged particle is moving on a circular path, then it requires a centripetal force, and centripetal force will be provided by the magnetic force. So the centripetal force is mv square by r, and that is equals to qvp. Sin theta, and sin theta, that is 90 degree, and sin 90 is 1. So centripetal force is equal to the magnetic force. So here we can write it as mv upon r equals to qb. Here you will use the v. So we can write velocity v equal to qb into m upon r. This is the velocity. So velocity of the charged particle is given by this equation. So, sorry, the r will be in the numerator, qb into r upon m. So this is your velocity, qb. So if it has reached to the maximum velocity, then in that case it has gone to the maximum radius. So let us suppose that the radius of the D equals to r. So the maximum velocity that it will acquire will be equals to qb capital R divided by m. So this is the maximum velocity that it will acquire. Now let us see that time period, how much time it will take. You know that time period is time taken to complete the one revolution, and the time is given by total distance, and the total distance is, let us suppose that circumference, that is 2 pi r divided by the velocity v, and just now we have calculated the velocity. Velocity is given by qb r upon m. So putting this value here, 2 pi r divided by velocity is qb r upon m, qb r into m. R you will lose, and the time period that you will get is equals to 2 pi m upon qb. So this is the time period, and inverse of the time period, you know that is frequency. So frequency is equals to 1 upon t, that is equals to qb upon 2 pi m. Okay, so the frequency of the revolution is given by qb upon 2 pi m. Q is the charge, b is the magnetic field, 2 and pi are a constant, and m is the mass of the charged particle. So see here, it is independent of the velocity and radius. Means frequency will remain constant till the magnetic field is constant. So the frequency of revolution is independent of the velocity as well as the radius. So this is the very important point that you have to note. So when it is moving in this spiral path, whether it's any radius, it will complete that one complete circle in the same time, whether the radius is small or the radius is high. Yes, so that's why when the radius keeps on increasing, its velocity also keeps on increasing, and at the maximum radius it will have the maximum velocity and it comes out with a very high velocity. So this is all about the cyclotron. Yes, so this is the device which is used to accelerate the heavier elementary charged particle to very high velocities. And you have seen its construction, and its principle is that it uses the cross magnetic and electric field, and its frequency of revolution is independent of the radius. Okay, thank you.